Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining, and welcome to this, our second in a series of webinars where we pose questions we hear a lot of companies asking and talk about the processes and technology that can help. And so today we pose the question, how to improve the buying experience through better collaboration. And here to answer that question is Virginie Emy, the Senior Product Manager, Smart CPQ of Pros. Virginie has more than 15 years experience in the CPQ space and leads the product roadmap for CPQ and agreements within Pros. And she's joined by Christophe Lafont, Principal in the Strategic Consulting Team for Smart CPQ. And Christophe has more than 20 years experience helping companies improve their sales and pricing effectiveness. And he's led and consulted on many CPQ implementations across a variety of industries. Okay, so with that, over to you, Christophe.
Thank you, Nick, and good morning, everyone. So first, we are going to introduce a little bit what is the omnichannel selling. So the key idea behind omnichannel selling software is to break down the barriers between the different sales channels. So the objective is to create a unified experience for all customers with the capability to switch from one channel to another one during the process. So for example, let's say you come across a product on a company website, you may add it to your shopping cart, and then later on you decide to visit their physical store to make the purchase instead. With omnichannel selling software in place, the company will ensure that your shopping cart information is accessible both online and in store, allowing you to complete the purchase seamlessly regardless of the channel you choose. So it enables businesses to sell their product or services through multiple platforms such as online store, mobile app, partners, or reseller networks. So we have all experimented omnichannel experience in our personal life for a B2C type of business. But despite omnichannel and digital transformation are buzzwords in the B2B space, still few companies have successfully implemented online sales experience for their B2B customers. It could be because their business is not easy to deploy on other channels, or it's because they have legal constraints, or it's a major disruption for them on the way they are going to market and the way they usually sell. But even if it is a challenge, it is a clear trend, and we see more and more B2B buyers that are expecting to have more interaction on digital. So if you look at this survey from Gartner, it shows that B2B buyers spend only 70% of the purchase journey with a sales rep. So it means that nowadays it's really a must-have to provide to buyers other way to interact with you, so that they can find more quickly product information, so that they can find a price or even their specific and negotiated prices on the website, or maybe go through a personalized processes to configure a product or a service. Another survey from Gartner showed that 50% of the buyer will select the offer that they have received first. So what it means is that if you can provide self-cares to your buyers, you will be in a better position to win. You will increase your win rate, and you will increase your revenue. So what do you need to do to enable self-care? See, first you have to ensure that you have the right e-commerce platform to support that. A commerce platform that you can deploy across all your different channels, and that will provide a rich online and B2C-like experience. And it's not only about opening a portal or a new app. It's really about providing a connected experience, meaning that you need to have this omni-channel capability. If I'm starting on a portal, a sales rep can continue the process, or I can continue on an app. So Virginie is going to explain how Smart CPQ can support those capabilities to build connected experience across channels.
Thank you, Christophe. So what is Omnichannel in the Pros platform? What we are all trying to do is to sell our product and services, and we sometimes have different channels multiple channels to do that. As you can see here, it can be direct sales through e-commerce site, through partners, reseller, distributors, or even through their e-commerce websites. On the other end, it's not just about the channel, it's also about the modalities that you use when you are selling your product or services. You could be selling directly by making a quote and ordering. That's the quote to order workflow. But there are multiple other ways to do business. Some of our customers use our solution to build long-term agreements for a particular product or service, what we call quote to agreement. They can also use our CPQ to make their customer subscribe to their services. Or you could also use a contract to order workflow where you can buy from a contract you've already made with your customer. So there are multiple sales modalities that comes into play when we talk about omnichannel. It's really all about fluidity across this entire space. So if we look how it works, there is a very simple use case to start with. We just talked about it, is I am the direct sales. I want to make a quote for my customer, and I'm creating a product offering. I can collaborate with this customer on the quote, and then I'm placing an order. That's the green arrow you're going to see on the screen in a minute. And then there are other cases that you can go through. It can be a little bit more complex. You can start, for example, by building an agreement contract. So you will start with a quote to agreement workflow. But then once the customer and yourself are agreeing on something, you could definitely show that on your e-commerce once your customer is logged in and see the price is actually agreed upon with you, so that it then can place an order upon that offering and pricing you chose and you negotiated with him. And a lot of other complex things can happen when you start mixing those modalities and those channels. And the most important thing is that everything is connected, everything is available to the customer. And we said earlier that customers are eager to use more and spend more time of the sales process by themselves before even getting into touch with a sales rep. So everything must be connected and seamlessly accessible from the customer at every step of those different channels and modalities. So how PROS platform serves that omnichannel selling motion? But first, by delivering the right buying experience on the right channel. Regardless of the channel chosen by the customer, the buying experience is adapted to the context of the sale. It's also up to the seller to decide how they want to interact with their customer during the sales cycle. So basically, if you want to have an approach where you send through partners or through your own website or both, this could be something that you can easily set up from the same platform. The experience can be as simple as sharing a quote online to collaborate with the customer, but it could also go much more complex by setting up a consistent and transparent shift from one channel to the other, depending on the sales stage the buyer is in. So for example, I can start my journey online, my buyer can start the journey online and then continue and place the order in a reseller facility, for example. So really mixing online and insight interaction, sales interaction. Again, fluidity and consistency are key in that experience. Next slide, please. So now think about being able to choose which products are available on your B2B website versus the ones your internal sales organization is able to offer, all from the same unified solution. It could be also another use case to use a partner portal. Your partner might not be entitled to sell all of your product, but only a subset of them. So you need to have different product catalogs on top of your product master to be able to set on different channels, different offerings. By easily managing different product catalog, you can make different set of products available on different sales channels. On the pricing side, you might want to adapt the pricing strategy depending on the channel through which your customer interacts with you. Consider how an anonymous visitor on your website can see a list price in your catalog. Once the customer has logged in, the price presented could be slightly different based on the customer segment or the geography is coming from, and thanks to customer-specific optimization, narrow down a little bit more the pricing that will be presenting to that specific customer. The price is personalized, tailored, basically based on the context of the sale. Allowing omnichannel price management establishes consistency, agility, and transparency in dynamic pricing strategies. Now imagine that a customer log into your website or one of your partner portal and get the price that is as agreed on with you and can place an order by himself. When the customer logs into the website, he should be presented with the price he actually negotiated and agreed upon with you in his contract. In addition, the customer should be able to place directly an order with that pricing. This makes the purchasing process more convenient for the customer, as they can complete their transaction without having to go through a separate sales representative or a sales process. Overall, the idea is to create a seamless and personalized buying experience for the customer, where they can access negotiated prices and place order across different sales channels. This not only improves the customer experience, but it also helps streamline the sales process for the company that is actually selling those products and services. That's all for me for today. Hopefully you get a good sense of what the PROS platform can help you with in terms of omnichannel selling. Thank you.
Thank you, Virginie. So for the rest of the meeting, we are going to see one example of a PROS customer that has leveraged a PROS platform to build an omni-channel experience. It's Point P. So Point P is a building material distributor and reseller. They are reselling building materials to large companies, but also to a lot of tradesmen in France. And they have leveraged a platform to build guided selling scenarios to help the tradesmen as they are working on an estimate for their own customer. They can go through guided selling scenario to check what are the requirements, what are the products needed for a new insulation, to build walls, to remodel the floor, and so on. So they have many type of guided selling processes available on that portal. It's called Soluplus. And they can go through the guided selling process. The system will compute everything for them in terms of quantity. It will also compute or and indicate all the products that are required to achieve the project. They will get an estimate and they can directly order online. So you can see some of the KPI on the left. They have more than 4,000 customers per month on the web using that tool. And what is really interesting is, thanks to Soluplus, they have seen an increase in the average cart revenue, a 30% increase, meaning that they are able to push more and more recommendation, additional product, upsell, cross-sell product to the tradesmen that can follow or not the recommendation. So that's an example of Point P. And to illustrate a little bit what we have said about the PROS platform, we would like to show you one of the new capability that is embedded into the platform. It's called collaborative quoting. It's a very easy way to start with e-commerce. It's not a portal. It is a capability to directly share with a customer or a partner a quote, and to collaboratively work on that quote, a little bit like when you are on Excel online, you can work together, or several people can work on the same Excel. You will see all the edits that are done by the other. The collaborative quoting demo is going to work a little bit like this. So I'm going to switch to my demo and I hope it is okay. So on the left part of my screen, I can see I'm actually a sales rep working for a high-tech company selling laptops and computers. I have started to prepare a quote for my food company account. I have populated my quote with 3 products. I have a quantity, I have a list price, and I have negotiated a discount for my customers. So I can see the total revenue on the top here. And what I want to do now is I want to share this quote with my customer, because I know I know that he wants to probably to change a quantity. He was not sure, for instance, that we really need 25. He need to double check internally. So what I can do, I can click on the invite button on the top left here, and I can enter the email address of my customer. I can enter a message that he will receive by email, and I can decide, what type of action I want him to have on the quote. He can view only the quote, he can change the quote, he can modify the quote, and I can protect the quote with a password if I want. So I'm going to use that link. I'm going to copy link. I can send it by mail. Here, for the sake of the demo, I'm just going to copy the link. And on the right part of the screen, I can see what my customer is going to see on his phone, for instance. So I can paste the link that he has received, and now he's connected to the quote. So you can see he have a different view. You can see images, you can see description, but the quantity, price, all the line informations are the same. And what is really interesting is because he's allowed to change it, he can start to play, for instance, with the quantity. So you can say it's not 25, now I check it's 28. And if you look on the left, the screen is immediately updated for the sales rep. So really, as a sales rep, I can call the buyer on my food company account, and I can work with him on the quantity, on the price, on the discount. Everything I'm going to do here also is going to be updated on the mobile app. So I said 7.14%, and now the discount is updated on the line. So as a customer, I can browse all the line, I can change all the quantity, and also what I can do is I can directly add a line. I'm buying laptops, but maybe I realize that I also need printers. So I can check, what are the printers available. I can enter the quantity, let's say 10. I can add to my quote, and you will see on the left immediately the quote is up to date for the sales rep, and I can even if I want, I can add a discount. If the customer is happy with the quote, he has two options. Either he can generate a document, like a PDF document, because he needs to get it approved internally, or he can directly accept the quote. I'm going to accept the quote and proceed, and you will see that on the left, the quote is going to be in a approved status now. So as a sales rep, I know my quote is approved and I can continue the process. As a customer, as I said, I can generate a nice proposal that I will be able to send to my manager or print or save on my own system. So this is what I wanted to show on the on this new collaborative quoting. It is fairly easy to activate. So I'm talking to our customers. If we have some in the webinar, it's just an activation and some configuration you need to do in the quote model. So if you are interested, you can contact your CSM and they will explain how you can activate this. So the document has been generated on the right, and I can open it. Thank you, and that's all for me. Nick.
Okay, thank you very much, Christophe and Virginie. So I think we need to get you a new iPhone, Christophe. That looked kind of several years, if not decades old, the one you were using there. So we've got a few questions from the audience, and the first one I think is for you, Virginie, please. So is your CPQ solution compatible with different CRM platforms?
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Yeah, absolutely. So we do have two managed solutions, so two managed package, we call them, for both Salesforce CRM and Microsoft Dynamics 365 CRM. So these are productized integration out of the box and delivered as part of a solution for customers using those two CRMs. For any other CRMs, we have all what we need to integrate with those. They are custom-based integration. We do have multiple customers not using Salesforce and Dynamics having those type of integrations as well.
Okay, thank you. So out of the box for Dynamics and Salesforce, and API integration for others. Thank you. The next question, I think I will direct your way, please, Christophe. So what lessons have been learned from e-commerce projects that pros have participated in the past that we can maybe share with you?
So I think what is really important is to focus on user adoption. So you need to have a very nice and easy to use experience within the system. What we've seen is many of our customers, they had to deploy on mobile first because their buyers are like PointPay, for instance, they are on the road and they need to access the system through a mobile app. So the user experience is really important. And I think also all the way you are going to communicate to the market, you are changing the habits of your users, of your customers. So you need to find a way to drive them through those new channels so that they can get used to it. They understand the value it has for them. I think PointPay did that very well with a lot of communication around, Soluplus. To make sure that their customer feels like Soluplus is their digital companion, easy to access, on the road I can really quickly have an estimate. Yeah, so communication for me is really key.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think we've got one more question which I'll direct your way, I think, Virginie, please. So there's a subtle difference between multi-channel versus omni-channel. Can you maybe explain the difference for the audience, please, Virginie?
Yeah, sure. So multi-channel is the fact that you are enabling different sales channels to actually address your market. And most of the time, and what we see is that people are using different systems for all these channels. So you have siloed information, product information, pricing information. It can be really a nightmare to manage those different channels. So you can have multiple ways of addressing your market. The difference with omnichannel is that you still have those different ways, but you can switch from one to the other easily, and everything is managed centrally. So basically your products, your prices, your rules, your business rules are all in the same place and directly into those channels. Again, the fluidity is key. When you start a quote or a buying journey on a website, you need to finish it on that website. With omnichannel, you could start there, but then call someone or go into a store, and we would not ask you to, again, what are the products that you need, but we would really take it from where you left it online, for example, and bring it into the store. So that's what omnichannel is, really this fluidity and consistency across the channels.
Okay, thank you very much. Just looking at the questions, there's no other questions from the audience now. So I think we kind of reaching the end of the webinar. So first of all, I'd like to thank Christophe and Virginie for sharing your expertise with us. Thank you very much. And remind the audience to keep an eye out for upcoming webinars with pros. The next one is going to be around efficiently implementing new pricing strategies without causing too much disruption to your business. So keep an eye out for that one. And I wish you all an enjoyable rest of your day. Thank you very much for taking part.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.